You'll never guess how much this painting of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich went for at an auction.
We watch videos from some of the world's worst gender reveals in this episode.
So you're in Jurassic Park and all the dinosaurs have gotten loose. And you have 3 people to choose out of to be your ally. Do you choose A, Vin Diesel, B, the Kool-Aid Man, or 3, Jimmy Buffett?
So, I took this girl out on a first date to do a simulated plane crash. Probably not my best idea, but we recap the events. And we're back. Episode 70 of Barcast Comedy here at Bout Time Pub. Today we got return to the show, stand-up comic in front of the show, Wes Williams.
Good to be here.
Thanks for being here. Make sure you stick around till the end of the episode because we have the first ever ranked Capri Sun Challenge. As number 4 in the nation, Wes Williams takes on number 2, Zach, at the Capri Sun Challenge.
You're going down, bud.
We've been building for this moment for a while of having a ranked one. You actually just dropped in the leaderboard too, to number 4.
Who took over third?
Dustin Ibarra beat you.
Well, I think I'm going to take number 1 today. I'm going for that world record.
Yeah, so this is big. This is like Dana White giving you a UFC fight right after.
I think it should come with a championship belt that looks like a Capri Sun.
Yes. Or just like a giant gold Capri Sun trophy. Kind of like a Heisman.
I also saw that number 1 didn't use a straw. Didn't Chris cheat?
No, he took it out. He popped it and then spread it.
Cheating.
He was fast.
I'm the people's champion of this. I'm going to use a straw. I'm going to do it the way. Yeah, I'm the man of the people. I'm a blue collar hero. I'm going to do it the way God intended.
Yeah, we also had another controversy too because Russell Keller might have beat Chris's woman's time, but the GoPro didn't work that episode. So we'll never know.
Oh, that's how conspiracy theories start. That's like some like JFK assassination stuff of being like, no one saw it. He drank the Capri Sun on a grassy knoll.
Let's just dive right into this.
Let's do it.
Guess how much this painting of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich sold for?
I'll say $1,000.
$1,000? $4,999.
Good Lord.
For that painting.
I don't know. I mean, like, I do love Uncrustables, and that is a pretty sick painting.
Honestly, I kind of do support it, though, because that is cooler than, like, most of, like, the artwork that sells for millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I would rather have a peanut butter sandwich than a bunch of random lines.
Maybe I'm the crazy person, but is this a little bit of a sexual painting of, like, this thing? It looks very, like, post-orgasmic. I don't know if I'm just, like, a fucking pervert, or if, like, they really staged this Uncrustable to be, like, good and fucked.
I feel like they got high and were eating it, and then like they set it down, and they were like, "That is beautiful."
Yeah, it's like
We
food
should paint
horny.
that.
Some people do get food horny of like letting the jelly dribble out and be like, "Ooh, you're a nasty little Uncrustable, aren't you?" Like, I don't know, something about that makes me a little uncomfortable. Maybe.
Would you rather have the superpower to transform into any flightless bird, or into a Toyota Corolla?
If I'm the Toyota Corolla, am I a thinking sentient being, or am I just that?
You're kind of like Optimus Prime.
Definitely Optimus Prime, then. I definitely want to be like the robot, because flightless birds have just been like, I guess the only thing I'm thinking is like, do I want to be a penguin, or do I want to be a potential killing machine? Because the thing is, like, if you become the truck, no one's going to believe that you're a human truck. You can just mow down anybody you want, just like go through a crowd, and they're just going to think whoever was driving you fled. You wait until later, then you're just a human, and you walk away, and you're like Kaiser Soze of like the truck world, and you're like untouchable.
You're starting to convince me that way. I was thinking the flightless bird. I'm like, I feel like that would get me more ladies, being able to be a penguin.
You think people want to
rather
fuck
than a
penguin,
Toyota
dude?
Corolla?
You think that's what's going to turn people on? You're just going to be like at a bar with like a bunch of pretty ladies, and you're like, watch this, whack whack. They're just like, what the fuck is this? And you're like, is this making you wet?
They're like, that is adorable. You're coming home with me.
I don't know if they're like bringing you home to fuck though. I feel like that's a weird way to end up in a cage. I feel like you're gonna end up at like one of those shitty zoos.
You were right. Actually, never mind. You've changed my point.
Yeah, Megatron versus Penguin. It's not even close.
I'm not ending up in the cage. That would be terrible.
I think you literally have a better statistical chance of someone fucking you as a truck than someone who's like, oh, the penguin boy, I need to suck his dick.
The penguin.
Yeah, penguin.
It's only a Toyota Corolla, though. But I mean, I guess ladies do love Toyota Corollas.
I mean, have you ever seen like Herbie the Love Bug? I mean, like people I think went crazy for Herbie, and he was a love bug, which sucks. Like even if you're like an okay truck and you're just like doing a bunch of like Tokyo drifting around town and you're like, ladies, I feel like some weird truck fucker is going to be on board with that as opposed to like the penguin thing.
Versus the penguin.
Because a penguin is just like a chubby little man in a suit, and everybody's gonna be like, yeah, adorable. But if you're a truck and you're just like running down people on the road.
That's adorable. Good second place,
right?
But never wins.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You just have pieces of politicians hanging out of like your grill. You're just assassinating people. You can't even go to jail as a truck. You know what I mean? I think I go truck the whole way. I don't know why I took that to a murder place.
That would be a pretty cool prison escape movie. Optimus Prime's in there like, guys, I got a way out. You just transform in a car, everybody gets into you.
Now I'm imagining it like Vin Diesel is the voice of the truck, and he's like, I'm doing this my way. Someone's like sucking his tailpipe. Like, oh yeah.
Would you shave your wife's head in her sleep for $100,000? You can't tell her that why you shaved her head.
Okay, would I shave my wife or girlfriend's head for $100,000 and she can never find out about it? Yes, but I get to just break up with her then, right? Because I mean, like, that's basically asking, like, would you break up with your girlfriend or wife for $100,000? I don't have a wife, but I've broken up with enough girlfriends for free that I think $100,000 is a very lucrative deal for me, because they're just gonna be like, what the fuck? And I'll be like, later. And now I just like, yeah, then I can go get like one of those trucks that like people have sex with.
And since you didn't have to tell them, you don't have to give them half the money too in the end.
I would
so
never
you're
give
making
them
out with $100,000.
Absolutely not. $100,000 buys me a whole new life and a better girlfriend. So you're basically saying, like, do you want a better life to get rid of your girlfriend? Of just being like, I would say probably yes. But I mean, like, you know, if someone found the right one, I'm sure that answer is different.
A little bit harder.
But I've not found too many people who I wouldn't just be like saying goodbye to for $100,000.
Yeah, god dang. Yeah, I put that money way too high. I even lowered it. It was $250K, and I was like, well, we're down to $100K.
Well, $100K is a very comfortable year of living, or 2 very moderate years of living. So if you're saying like...
That's 2 or 3. You're single during that $100K too.
Yeah, but I also live in Denver, so things are expensive. And it's like, if you're sitting around all day, you're going to blow money. So I feel like $100,000 is 2 years of me like living very moderately, like just having kind of a nice life, or a really nice single year. Yeah. So of just being like, would you break up with your girlfriend for a really nice year where you take like a couple vacations? Yeah.
For a Mexico vacation? Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, and I think $100,000 is the perfect price range for that too. Like, I don't think I'd do it like for $50K, but like $100K to just be like, yeah. And of course, like, you would have to almost move, because then people would be like, Wes shaves people. Like, that's a hard person to be now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, that's a hard person to be at, being like...
Comedy scene, be careful.
Absolutely. I think, like, you'd be investigated.
I think it's because Wes went bald, and then he was like, you know what?
Yeah, everybody's bald now. He's the bald maker. Yeah, you are becoming a weird supervillain of just being like, if I heard about someone who shaved people in their sleep, I would be terrified of that guy. Because in, like, FBI parlance, that is escalating behavior. Yeah. You don't stop at shaving people. You go from shaving people to being like next to their skin. Like, that is not where you stop.
What if you got the offer again, another $100,000 for your second girlfriend? Would you do it again?
Man, I feel like I'm really revealing myself to be a really heartless dude. I would do that every single time. I feel like I could stack bills on bills on bills and leave a trail of bald women across America. I feel like I am not morally centered enough for this question to be like fair. It would just be like cops being like, we've got another shaved woman. What is happening out here? I don't think this is a crime necessarily, but new laws would have to be passed because of how many women I would shave for this deal. I feel very bad.
I'm with you on that.
This game reveals to me how evil I really am. I don't like the answers that I'm being like truthful about, but I feel like shaving for $100,000, that would be the rest of my life. I would never work again. Just once a year, some poor woman wake up bald and be like, what is this? I'm sneaking off in the night with my 100.
Well, you're forgetting about the Netflix documentary money too afterwards.
Oh my God, yeah.
10 years down the road.
The Bald Bandit going town to town shaving people. That would be a Netflix #1 show of just being like, what's wrong with this guy?
It's like, have you seen that Chimp Crazy documentary?
No.
It's on HBO Max. It's from the guy who made Tiger King.
Okay.
And basically it's about this lady who just owns chimps, like Tiger King.
But chimps kill people. I wouldn't kill people.
That's literally what the show's about, basically. All these people have chimps, and then they, like, murder their best friend, and then 6 months later they get a new chimp.
How much money would it take for you to shave a chimp? And the chimp is not restrained. It's just a live chimp, and you've got to make that chimp bald whole way down.
I don't think there's a number, because, I mean, I would try for $1 million. I think I'm dead in every scenario.
I do think the chimp kills you. I think that's why you have to set it very, very high of being like, unless, like, it would just be like, I don't know, like the way like people like shave a balloon. Yeah. It'd be like so delicate, so easy.
Is there a time limit? Can I like do this, like a little bit a day?
Well, the thing is, if you take a little bit a day, that hair grows back.
Oh, you're right.
And you need to make it bald. So if you don't do it within a semi-timely manner.
I think I do it over 6 years. I slowly get him used to the blades for the first 4 years.
So you befriend the chimp.
Yeah.
You play a
I
real
befriend
long
the shrimp.
game.
Yeah, I play the long game.
We're really revealing a lot of evil stuff about ourselves, about how we'll be
more you
shaving
know.
things and people.
We'll just go to the next question. This next one's a great question.
Let's do it.
You're stuck in Jurassic Park when the dinosaurs get out. Who do you choose to be your partner while you escape? Vin Diesel, the Kool-Aid Man, or Jimmy Buffett?
I think I'm going to pick a maybe surprising answer to who I would pick as my partner because I'm going to go with the Kool-Aid Man. And it's because you said it was Vin Diesel and who else?
Jimmy Buffett.
Vin Diesel and Jimmy Buffett are made of meat, which is what dinosaurs eat. I don't think any dinosaurs instinctually want to drink Kool-Aid or eat glass. So I think that Kool-Aid Man would be like a good buffer for me of just being like dinosaurs aren't attracted to him and he can bust through walls. So I'm using him like a fullback.
You're just following him down the line.
He's my Mike Allstott. He's pancaking dinosaurs. We're at the goal line. You know, the T-Rex is trying to block us. He's just busting through. He's a supernatural being. He's not made of meat. The dinosaurs don't want to fight him. He's breaking through walls. I'm just following him. I'm Emmett Smith behind him, you know, just trying to get out of Jurassic Park. I think he's the perfect partner.
Yeah, I think they're all pretty good. I mean, I was kind of thinking between him or Vin Diesel, because Vin Diesel just has the family aspect. He's going to find a car and try and save me.
The
We
only
ride together,
thing
we're partners.
I will say about Vin Diesel is I know in real life he's like actually just like a D&D nerd. And so he's just a D&D nerd who's like jacked. And so I feel like when you get him in a real life scenario and he's not like
he's
actually
freaking
acting,
out.
I feel like he's going to be like, woo! Like I feel like real life Vin Diesel is actually like a big pussy.
If you want to die, Jimmy Buffett's the way to go out. He's getting you margaritas on the way, you know? He's like, here you go. And I'm like, fuck it, let's go.
Well, that's the thing is like if you're resigned to your fate, Jimmy Buffett's the perfect person to be resigned to your fate.
Yeah.
I'm just being like that scene where the kids are like eating Jell-O because they're like scared and terrified. Just that scene, but instead it's just like margaritas.
Margaritas. You're just trying to sip on them.
Yeah, trying to sip quietly while the dinosaurs track you down. Like, I mean, that's a cooler way to die, but if I want to survive, I think it's Kool-Aid Man the whole way.
All right, you wake up tomorrow with a back tattoo. How long does it take you to notice?
Boy, I think it takes me about a month to notice if I have a back tattoo, and it doesn't hurt at all. I'm guessing that's like
doesn't
part
hurt.
of.
It's just
If I wake up with a
kinda
tattoo
like a hangover.
and I don't notice, I think it takes me about a month because I'm a big hairy monster and I like have to trim my back occasionally, and so I have to like look in the mirror and I'd be like, "What is this?" And it's just like someone like blowing a dinosaur. It's Kool-Aid Man getting sucked off by the raptor. I'm like, Kool-Aid Man, no!
It's Jaden Smith.
Yeah,
just
it's
his
Jaden
face.
Smith. He's just like doing like a head spin or something. Yeah, I think that it would take me about a month because I'm a big hairy monster and I look at my back about once a month just to make sure that like I'm trimmed up. I'm so hairy that if I don't trim my back, my shirts fit different. Yeah. Like that's the kind of woolly mammoth of a person that I am. So I think about once a month I'd be like, oh shit, is that Kool-Aid Man? Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's a toss-up for me. I feel like I probably wouldn't notice for a while. I don't really check my back that often.
I don't know. You seem like a pretty fit guy. You don't do a little like mirror flexing every now and then and being like, ooh, look at them back.
I just play dodgeball. Beer league dodgeball. It's my only workout.
Okay. So maybe during like a game of dodgeball or something, you're like showing off the abs to the other girls, like being like, what's up?
I might get somebody out and get too excited and rip my shirt off.
Oh, yeah, like a soccer player,
Kinda
put
like,
it over your head.
And I'm flexing, and then Ava's like, dude, what is that?
Mad
What do you
dogging
mean?
people.
And I'm like, oh, wow.
And they're just like, what
I
do you
guess
got?
I have a tattoo.
Bro, you've got a huge swastika on your back. And you're like, that's not me. That doesn't speak to who I am. That was a magical thing that happened because of a podcast one time.
It was a mistake. It's like I saw this Japanese game TV show where they'd have a guy go on a date with a girl, like to get dinner and mini golfing. And he'd have to wear a full suit and tie. But the catch is, it's only the front half. So the back half is just nothing. You can see his underwear, his skin. And he has to do the whole date trying to just stand.
So the purpose is to make sure she doesn't see your ass.
And you have to see how long you go without her noticing your suit being cut in half.
I would be caught immediately because I have a huge ass. Like, I think that, like, my huge ass is something that people see about me immediately. And they would just be like, sir, your enormous bald ass is sticking out of your pants right now. And I'd be like, good day, ma'am. Like, I wouldn't last 1 second. You need a little ass to play that game.
Yeah, I think I could do decent at that one.
Yeah, I've got, like, that, like, midget scenario where I sit down and get taller. I have that kind of ass.
Oh, speaking of dates, too, I actually went on a good date this past weekend. So I took this girl on a date to do a simulated plane crash. So I got this ads for this thing, and what it was like this pop-up event in Denver, and it's a bunch of just storage containers, like, you know, that would go out to sea, and you get in it, and it looks like a plane and everything, perfect plane. And then it goes pitch black darkness, and it starts shaking like a plane, and it's kind of like Final Destination. You hear in voices and stuff. And honestly, it was pretty dope. But the thing was, my date hadn't gone on... She's only flown like twice in her lifetime. So I was like, oh crap, this might not have been the best idea. But she handled it well. Me, on the other hand, I had a couple drinks and I was a bitch. Yeah. I was like, oh crap, what is happening, grabbing her? But the thing full on just was shaking like crazy.
So at the last minute of the simulator, do you see that you're crashing into the towers?
No, you just feel it. Oh God. Yeah, it was wild though. The whole thing, like there's people going down the aisle you could hear and everything.
Holy shit. That sounds really terrifying, honestly. Like, I'm not in love with like death scenarios like that. Like, even with like video games and stuff, like when it's like, oh, you're about to die. Like, I'm the kind of guy who I'm playing like Resident Evil and I'm like yelping out loud like a little kid. I'm like, no! Oh, oh. Like, it's really scary.
I was worried I was paying to be human trafficked, though. You know, I get in this storage container, pitch black darkness, put the headphones on. I'm like, this is crazy, dude. I can even feel the waves when we crash landed. Next thing you know, I'm across the country.
But it's kind of funny to be like on a date doing that, because after you get out of this simulation of the most terrifying experience a person can have, you're like, well, dating me doesn't seem so bad now, right? Like, as compared to dying in a plane crash, I'm pretty cool.
It's funny, though. My friends keep asking me about it, like, hey, what happened to that girl? You haven't turned her out of the bar in a while. I'm like, oh, dude, I don't know. I haven't seen her since the plane crash.
Yeah, maybe you should stop simulating death with your dates. Like, I feel like before this, you would just be like driving a girl somewhere and like kind of playing chicken with other cars and be like, oh. You like death?
You thought. That was funny, right? Oh, wait, another good date, one or two I saw. I think this might be a good story. One of your friends, his girlfriend broke up with him in the middle of your comedy set.
Yes. That was brutal.
How awkward is that? Could you tell when it happened?
I couldn't tell exactly when it happened. It was a show at an old venue in downtown Denver, and it was just a really bad show. And my friend, like,
That's how bad the show was.
Well, that's how bad the show was, and that's how bad I was doing. And I'm just being like, it was at, like, this old, like, bar for, like, lesbians, and there was, like, 5 lesbian bikers there, plus my friend and his date. And, like, we were just, like, intruding on, like, their bar time. Like, these were people who did not show up for a comedy show. So they're sitting there drinking, like, scowling at us. And I'm like, being straight's weird, right, gang? And they're like, boo! Like, they hated me. And my friend and his date, like, I think just the vibes were so overwhelmingly negative that she was like, this day can't get worse. Let's break up. Let's just, like, end this, because, like, this can't make me feel worse than watching this guy bomb this hard right now.
That's terrible.
And I felt so bad for my friend, and he's actually like the kiss of death for me. He's like this guy named Ben. I won't give his last name, but he's super sweet. He's the nicest guy. But every show of mine he's ever actually been to has been like, he's seen me like 3 or 4 times in Denver. Those 3 or 4 times have been the 3 or 4 worst comedy shows I've ever been a part of. Every time he's like, I'm going to show up and support Wes. It's like me at like a funeral performing in front of people who are like throwing javelins at me and spitting on me. And he's like, is this how comedy always is? And I'm like, I promise you it's not. It's usually fun. It's usually really good. But every time he shows up, I'm just like running away from like a crowd of like people with torches being like, get these pieces of shit.
It's like I saw another comedian did a tomato show where you could throw tomatoes at him, you could pay. But the thing was, he bought like new tomatoes. It was clearly his first show. They weren't old tomatoes. Those things look like they were hurting.
Yeah, young tomatoes are taut. They're gonna hurt. You need a ripe tomato.
Yeah, I was like, holy crap, I feel bad for this guy now. I'm like, this is not as funny as it was when it first started.
No. I mean, like, you've got to know how to navigate bad shows. Like, the first bad show I ever did that was like truly historically bad is I did a comedy show for a dog's birthday. I did a dog's birthday party, and you're thinking like, oh, well, it was like his owners were around.
Is this like at a doggy daycare or like at a dog person's house?
It was like at a VFW, dude. It was weird. It was like a bunch of like veterans of foreign wars sitting in the back, like drinking at the bar, but our only audience was like a bunch of dogs like shitting and pissing and like eating bones. And I was just like, whoa, this is rough. And like, it's just everybody in the back row was like, boo. And I was like, why would you hire someone for this? Why would you hire a comedian for this event right now? I've like, even playing music for dogs makes more sense of being like, they can't understand what I'm saying. Yeah. There's nothing I can do where the dog's gonna be like, that was actually really good.
That was a good joke.
Yeah, like the dog's gonna be like, actually, I'm gonna stop like humping my friend over here for a second and let you know that killed. You're doing great, buddy.
I'd see him again next time he comes here.
Yeah. Let's get tickets next time. That was really nice.
You gotta survive 2 hours inside a gladiator ring. Choose your opponent. 20 Stephen Hawkings in rocket chairs that go 30 miles per hour, or 10 Hellen Kellers with pistols.
How big is the arena?
It's a gladiator ring, like Gladiator the movie.
Okay, so let's just say it's maybe like 200 yards by 200 yards.
Yeah.
And it's 20 Stephen Hawkings or 10 Hellen Kellers with a pistol.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going Stephen Hawking of just being like, I feel like I can navigate around a little robot man swerving. Because even if they hit me, I don't think they're going to kill me.
Yeah.
And am I allowed to kill him?
Yeah, you can kill him.
Oh, then I feel like I would immediately kill 20 Stephen Hawkings of just being like, I don't think he can fight back. He's just gonna be like, the nature of black holes, snap.
You're just catching the wheelchairs, just phew.
Yeah, the mathematics of nature, snap. I feel like I kill all 20 Stephen Hawking.
Even with 20 of them, you're not worried?
Not at all. What are they gonna do? Even if they team up, they're not gonna like turn into Megatron. They don't turn into like the Power Rangers robot of Stephen Hawking's and crush me down and being like, one by one, I can just turn his little face into pudding. Of just being like, look, he's one of the greatest men who ever lived. He's a true genius who changed the world. But if it's me versus any number of Stephen Hawkings, I am just mashing him into the ground into a paste. There's nothing. Because even if he hits me at full speed at his wheelchair, it's gonna be like, ouch. It's gonna be like someone hitting you with like a grocery cart. It's just like elbow, elbow, elbow. I feel like I would have an hour and 50 minutes of just chilling time after I easily
The
kill.
amount of social media followers you're going to gain too from the gladiator fight.
Dude,
like, that
all
was
of the weird,
awesome.
like, young Earth creationists are being like, get that fucking scientist, get that piece of shit. I'm gonna have like a whole new, like, weird Joe Rogan fan base of people who hate science. They're just like, yeah, he probably loved vaccines. So I'm just like mashing this poor dude. Like, yeah, I feel like that's absolutely it. Because, like, with the Hellen Keller thing of being like, if she didn't have the pistol, she would be even easier. But I want to take total random chance of me getting my brains blown out by like a random pistol shot. But the Stephen Hawking's just in his wheelchair, he's just gonna be like, please don't. I'd be like, I'm sorry, Stephen. This isn't what I wanted. It was me or you. But like, yeah, I would mash them all up.
Plus, after 5, you'll probably get used to it.
Oh yeah. After like, you kill one Stephen Hawking and it haunts you the rest of your life. You kill 1,000 Stephen Hawkings, it's another day at the office. If you turn murder into a numbers game, I think it was like Saddam Hussein or someone who said that, but he'd be like, the death of one is a tragedy, the death of million is a statistic. At some point, you're just mashing and you're just like, I wonder what I'm going to have for dinner later. You're not even registering that you're killing the greatest scientist of our time.
Yeah, no, I was thinking Hellen Keller, but I mean, you might have changed my side. Just because Hellen Keller, we're in a gladiator ring, it's going to be loud, right? I imagine there's a crowd. So there's no noise. She can't hear me and stuff. I just lay on the ground. They're just popping. They probably kill at least 4 each other. Shooting, and then I pick up another one, right? So there's only 6 left. I grab one of them as a hostage. I use that as a body shield, and I just start blasting the other ones.
Dude, it took them 20 years to teach Hellen Keller the word water. You think you're going to get them to understand the word hostage in the time that you have in this arena?
No, if they shoot at me, they're going to hit the hostage instead.
They don't
The other
know.
Hellen Keller.
They don't know you have a hostage.
That's
what
the
are you
point.
talking
They take
about?
out that one.
Okay,
and
so
there's
it's not
only
a
5
hostage because a
Hellen Keller. It's
hostage
just a body shield.
sounds like you're negotiating.
Yeah, I wasn't
You can't
negotiating.
negotiate.
No, it was just a body shield.
You can't reason with a Hellen Keller. She's not operating. You can't, like, in her hand be like, I have a hostage. That's not something you can...
I start tapping her back.
Right.
Hostage.
Yeah, absolutely not. They're not going to understand that. But imagine the thrill of that last Stephen Hawking and the crowd. You're trying to see if they want the thumbs up or the thumbs down. They slowly thumbs down, and you're just like,
All
you're
right.
dead. You're dead, science man.
Then another good one I saw on the internet, I saw the stupidest gender reveal today. Let me show you it. It was just over the top expensive, and it pissed me off. I want to get your thoughts on it.
Okay.
Like, holy shit. Like, this stuff pisses me off. I hate these gender reveals.
This gender reveal looks like with the last thing that people saw at like Mount Vesuvius when it exploded. I mean, like, that's so over the top and dangerous and unnecessary. What this video doesn't show is a dozen birds just falling to the ground dead after they like unleashed this missile arsenal, which I admit is the most American thing you could possibly do, but it also sucks. Like, it walks that line of being like, America's so over the top that it both rules and sucks, of being like, how do we reveal the gender of our baby? Like, let's do an arsenal strike of missiles. Like, that's so out of pocket.
This is what we need.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hate those. And then just to make up for it, here's a more calm one. What's your thoughts on this one, too?
Can we skip to the good part?
Which one do you prefer?
I guess I would prefer like the Nickelodeon one where they're getting like gacked by the color. But I don't even understand what that color means. It's fucking purple. What gender is that?
That was my...
They're like, it's born without genitals. This baby is born without genitals, so we get purple.
They mix the colors and they're like, oh crap.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, they must have mixed the colors. But yeah, I think that like getting slimed would be the best gender reveal if you have to do it. I'm a big fan of anything getting slimed. Yeah. So them getting like the weird purple haze dropped on them, I guess I support that if I had to support any gender reveal, which all gender reveals are extremely dumb. Yeah. No one cares about your baby. There's too many babies. Just shut up about it. Yeah. Just shut up about it. Babies suck. Kids suck. Being a parent isn't special. Shut up. Colors and missiles are not needed for your gross little parasite that you're bringing into the world.
I'd love to see the second gender reveal. Do you think they go bigger than the missiles for the second kid? Or do you think they just, they're over it at that point?
I think you do have to escalate. I do think you have to drop like an atomic gender bomb.
Like, we're bombing Japan for this one.
I think you have to do like an Oppenheimer style bomb drop. You have to do like a Trinity testing that reveals an enormous pink mushroom cloud while people are just like, I am become destroyer.
Imagine they get triplets and a third kid and they're like freaking out. They're like, what are we going to do now? We've already blown up.
You got to blow up the moon. You've got to blow up the moon. You have to become a supervillain. And as the moon cracks apart and the waves overtake humanity, with our last breath, we go, it's a boy. That's the last thing that humanity speaks.
They assassinate Trump. His ear explodes with blue paint inside. It's a boy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that like presidential assassinations would be cooler if they were a gender reveal.
If they were also gender reveals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Spice it up a little.
Yeah, you shoot Joe Biden in the head and then a little flag bops out and it just says boy.
What was his motivation?
He wanted to know what his baby was.
Oh, so I saw Russia made its own version of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia called It's Always Sunny in Moscow.
Nice.
And it only lasted for one season before it got canceled.
Okay.
It was terrible, though. The question I have for you is, who do you think will win in a fight? The gang from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia or Darth Maul? Darth Maul's hunting them down, and, the gang's got to defend themselves.
Oh, Darth Maul, easily. He's like a magical evil being, and the gang from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia are just a bunch of like sad alcoholics. And as a sad alcoholic, I want to let you know, I almost die by accident daily. So I feel like a real life alcoholic versus a magical being with swords, you're going down.
See, I think Darth Maul wins in most scenarios, but they're the wild cards. You never know, the gang. You got Charlie the wild card.
That's true. I mean, like, we don't know how Darth Maul will react to Green Man. Yeah. Green Man could have some prizes for him.
Charlie cuts the brakes to the car.
Right. Of being like, he cuts like the brakes for like the pod racer or whatever Darth Maul's in. Yeah, wild card, bitches. And I mean, like, Frank does have a handgun.
Frank starts blasting.
He starts blasting.
D seduces him.
D sets him on fire. And maybe Mac bangs him.
Mac, there he's got his karate.
Sure. And then Dennis is a sociopath. Maybe he locks him up in like the sex room, straps him down to the bed. You don't know. So I don't think it's a 0% chance that the gang doesn't accidentally win through their sociopathy.
They kill them all, everybody, themselves too.
Yeah, everybody dies. But I do think that 99 times out of 100, Darth Maul wins pretty easily. Yeah. They might die before he shows up, is the episode of like them training to fight Darth Maul, and in their training to try and get better, they all accidentally die from like trying to run upstairs and like breaking their necks.
I totally could see that being the episode.
He just shows up, zoom, zoom, doubles blade out, and then he just realizes they're all dead already.
It's like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia did a bar rescue episode with John Taffer, and they're not at the bar.
Right.
He shows up to the bar and they're not there.
A big anticlimax of just being like, they can't even getting killed right.
What's your favorite video on the internet all time? That every time you see, you just got to stop and watch.
Let me think about that.
Like, to give you a second one for me recently was, I've been watching this video, always pops up, is of these orangutans in the Belgium Zoo. And to let them socialize, they send the otters into their exhibit. Let me show you the video.
Okay.
And the otters basically just harass the orangutans, like old men, and just try and steal the blanket. And the old orangutan's like, get off my lawn. And it's just the most adorable thing. At first, you might think the orangutan might just kill him,
He
like
does have
rats.
like some club in hands. He's got like a hammer hand.
It's a friendly rival, though. It's like a Batman and Joker. Because they could easily...
Do you think that's a friendly rivalry?
Yeah, they would
No,
kill
Batman
us.
and Joker's not a friendly rivalry. That's crazy. They have got a very violent lifetime rivalry.
It's a mutual. Batman needs Joker.
I guess. I know what my favorite video in the internet is, and it makes me laugh to tears every time I see it. Is this happened about like 2 years ago, I think, where these people were scientists and they found a mummy and it had enough of like the skin left that they were able to recreate its voice box. They spent like hundreds of thousands of dollars and they were like, it was like a king, and they were like, we're going to find out what this king from 10,000 years ago sounded like. So we've recreated like his vocal cords, we recreated what he's going to sound like with his mouth, his lips, his tongue. And they're like, here is what he sounds like. And then the vocal clip is just, whoo, that's it. That's the whole vocal clip. They didn't make him say anything. It wasn't like, welcome to Egypt or anything like that. They did all this money just to make him go, whoo, like that. It sounded like they were like pinching his balls. And then like they just go back to this news anchor and she's like, fascinating. It makes me laugh so hard every time I see it to know that like hundreds of thousands of dollars of grant money went towards being like, yeah, this is what it would sound like if a king of Egypt got kicked in the balls. Like this, whoo! That's it. That's all they did. I'd be like, I could have told you that. I don't care if you go back 1 year or 10,000 years. Getting kicked in the balls sounds
That's what
the
it
same.
sounds like.
Yeah. From the birth of man till now, whoo, that's all you get.
I hate taxes, man, but I would pay more in taxes if that's what my money was going toward. If we were just constantly getting people like, and this is what Hitler would sound like if he was getting kicked in the balls.
9! Like a real quick, oh you, 9! That was Hitler being kicked in the balls. We've gotten that down to 100% scientific
That
accuracy.
is factual, amazing.
Yes. This is Genghis Khan getting kicked in the balls.
So now back to Jake with your weather.
This was a good use of our GDP. That was $10 million to find out what he sounded like kicked it in the ball.
Yeah, another good video I saw on the internet too recently was this crackhead fighting a SWAT robot in a motel. Let's watch this video here. It's like one of the first robots, SWAT robots, and it just kicks that crap out of this guy. And it's the funniest thing. This guy versus robot. Do you think he could beat the robot?
Oh, I mean, he had a good initial strategy of throwing a blanket over it. I think that's a good initial strategy.
And then the robot starts spraying like pepper spray, apparently.
Oh, well, that's not fair. So this guy's fighting a battle bot who has like pepper spray and like a weapons arsenal.
Yeah. But just watch this poor guy. Yeah, he got pepper sprayed and now he's getting out of the window. And then this is the best part here. The robot takes him down. I like to think I could put this robot in a chokehold, though.
Dude, no, this battle bot would strangle you to
It just
death.
sits on him until the cops come.
Oh yeah, that's like this is exactly how the Terminator starts. This is some Skynet technology where like I'm sure that guy probably deserved it, but it also looks like he was just like staying at a Motel 8. What criminal staying at a Motel 8 deserves like a $10 million murder robot? That was clearly like they had a murder robot and they were just like, we're not gonna not use the murder robot. No. We've got a murder robot. Instead of going and arresting this guy like a normal cop, they're just like send in the murder robot.
He was upstairs too, so they had to carry the robot up the stairs too to get it up there.
Yeah.
And then send that thing in.
They were like, should we go arrest this guy? And someone was like, look, we've got Johnny 5. We can give him a lot of mace. Let's see if Johnny 5 can kill this guy.
Him had a
like,
chance to use him. Come on.
Yeah, when you've got a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. When you've got a murder robot, every problem looks like it should be solved by a murder robot.
Should we send the murder robot again?
Yeah, this guy had like a warrant out for his arrest because of unpaid parking tickets. And they're like, send in Murderbot 101. And he's going to get like fucked up.
This guy just choke him out. I like to think I could take that thing, but even if it pepper sprayed me, I feel like I could just put it. But then again, who knows?
I don't know. I don't know how strong the robot is, but I will say if he maced him first, like if you've ever been maced, it is very debilitating. Who was I talking to? They were just like, oh yeah, there's a bar on Colfax called Lion's Lair. Yeah. And I was like asking one of my buddies how it was going at Lion's Lair. He's like, in the past week, in 2 completely separate situations, people got maced. Like, that's crazy that like people get maced that often at this shitty bar.
Just getting maced.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a very debilitating thing. So I feel like if I got maced by the robot and it gets him like in the corner and it's just like doing corner combos on him, like just like, you know, if you've ever played like Street Fighter and you're in the corner, you know, it's a very vulnerable position. And so the murder robot's spraying you with mace, shooting in jabs. I feel like the murder robot kills me.
I would have opened the door, bring him in, you know, get the home field advantage. That way I can come off the bed with an elbow.
I think the only chance you get is 1, the blanket was a really good idea. 2, as soon as you blanket it, you have to throw it off the balcony. It looks like he's on a balcony. If it's light enough to throw, you've got to launch it off the balcony. That's your only chance. I think if you stay up there and try and like fight it one-on-one, it can't feel. It's Terminator rules. It can't feel feelings. It doesn't feel fear. It doesn't feel pain. You've got to launch it off the balcony.
That would have been the greatest ending. ESPN top 10 if that guy just picks it up and just just yeets it back down onto the SWAT car.
That would have been the modern story of
Starts
John
pounding
Henry.
his chest
yeah.
like a King Kong.
I'm a man. Man wins. Man won. Robot zero. Like that dude would have been a hero.
Yeah. And this one goes to man, like that Man versus Food guy does. He does the M down.
This one goes to man. Just murder robots twitching on the ground.
This next question is one question with OldSchoolCurt.
Here's your one question from OldSchoolCurt. What is the dumbest way you ever hurt yourself? Seriously, what is the dumbest way?
To give you a second to think for me, like one time I remember when I was little, my family ordered Chinese food and the doorbell rang to get the Chinese food. And like the way our house is set up is we have a staircase that goes like dead center of our house. And so me and my brother were in the kitchen and the doorbell rang. So we ran opposite sides around the staircase to go to the front door to get it. And we ran and we slammed heads into the door and I just bit through my lip.
Wow.
And then we had to get stitches and I was bleeding all over and the Chinese guys at the door with the food like, what do I do here?
Yeah, the dumbest way I ever injured myself is I used to work on a farm, and to like pass the time, there was a huge beam up above like the main barn area where like we would like string up a bag of like ropes, and we'd throw this like we'd swing it like almost like a gauntlet, where the huge bag of ropes would go across, and you try to run across like from one side to the other and not get hit by the bag of ropes.
Some like Ninja
Dumb
Warrior.
farm, yeah, Ninja Warrior style, absolutely. And we'd try and hit each other with this bag of ropes, and if you got hit, it really hurt. But one time I got hit by it, but like my momentum was carrying me forward and it like threw me into like a cow that was just like chilling, and it spooked the cow, and the cow kicked me on the top of my head and like caved in the top of my head. And like my dad was like, what the fuck? He like came and got me. And like we're farm people, so he was like not even thinking about the hospital. Like I had like a hoof-shaped indent on the top of my head, and I'm like bleeding, and I'm like, I don't feel so good. And he just took me inside and like poured rubbing alcohol into like my exposed brain, basically. He's like, yeah, it'll be fine. And I was like, I don't think I'm feeling too good. I was like short-circuiting. I was like, I don't think this is good. And finally he's like, all right. Like he called my mom. He's like, Wes got kicked by a cow. He's like, I don't think rubbing alcohol is helping. I'm just like fucking nodding off, trying to stay conscious. He's like, what should I do? And she's like, take him to the hospital. So it was the dumbest way I ever got hurt. It was one of the like worst injuries I ever got.
He's at the hospital. He's like, yeah, we've already tried rubbing alcohol on it. That didn't work. Just want to give you a heads up.
The one of one solution. He's like, I can't believe the scalp isn't like regenerating on his head after this rubbing alcohol. And I don't know if you've ever put rubbing alcohol into an open wound. It hurts so bad. So I'm just like this young dumb farm kid just being like, oh God, this hurts. And my dad's like, it's medicine. I'm like, oh man, I don't know if this is helping my skull injury.
Yeah, I was not expecting it to be that bad. All right, the questions really go downhill here, the last few. Okay. But let's just keep going with them.
Yeah, let's rock.
The next question is, blind ranking states I wouldn't want to sit on naked if they were chairs. So we're going to do 1 through 5 blind ranking. I'll show you a state, and then you give me a ranking on if you were naked, if you'd like to sit on it, where'd rank? 1 is best, 5 is worst. So number 1 we have is Virginia.
I think I'm going to surprise you with this one. I think that's like a 3. I know it looks like it's going to be uncomfortable, but I have like terrible indigestion and heartburn, and sometimes sitting down with my head below my legs makes that feel a lot better. So because I'm old and sad, I think Virginia is like a solid 3.
Okay. Next we got Wisconsin.
I mean, I know that you have the word owl on here, but if you don't sit on that little point at the top and you just kind of nestled down in there, I think that's pretty.
Yeah, if you hang your feet around the edge.
Yeah, I don't think that's bad. I think that's easily 2.
You're putting that at 2?
Yeah, I mean, we're blind ranking, so I don't know what's going to be up here, but so far, so comfortable.
Next we got Idaho.
Ooh, boy. I mean, like, that has to be an 8. I mean, like, here's the thing. I'm assuming Florida's going to be one of these, and Florida's just a huge dick. So Florida's going to have to be 10, but this does look terrible, what you've shown me here. Yeah. And also, this guy has a boner. Why does he have a boner? Why did you give him such a stiff erection sitting on Idaho?
That's why we sit on Idaho.
The last one had ow and it looked comfortable. This guy looks like he's having the time of his life sitting on Idaho. He looks like he's about to blow.
It could go either way.
Yeah, he's doing the hot to go dance while getting like reamed by Idaho and being turgid. This guy looks like he's having a fun time. I'll put it at 8.
And next we got New York.
Oh boy. Okay, this one does look worse. I'll just give it like a solid 5 of being like, again, I don't mind my head being below my feet, but this little indent here I feel like would really fuck me up. I feel like it would like really give me some spine problems.
Yeah. Hey, last one we got here. This one's gonna go at the top for best one. We got Rhode Island.
Whoa, okay, all right. Is that his balls? Is that what his balls that you've drawn there?
That's the balls.
Why would you give him balls and not a penis?
Well, it's from the angle. We're on the backside. You can't see him.
Oh, okay, so I'm just...
So you're just
Why do I see his... Like, if it's from his back and it's up his ass, why do I still see his balls?
It's just his balls are sitting on it, kind of squatting.
It feels like he mushed his ball. You see what I'm saying, though, right? If something is up your butt, to see the balls, you would have to navigate them very carefully back around where your anus is. I see what you mean.
Actually, it should be there. Yeah, I see what
it shouldn't. I feel like you wanted to draw balls. I feel like this game isn't really about rankings. It's about how many balls you wanted to draw and how many people getting anally violated you wanted to draw.
How many balls can I draw into this? I just want to work my drawing of these balls into the episode somehow, so...
If you submit to their Patreon, Zach will give you more ball and anal penetration pics. This is his way of letting you know he's in the game now.
All right, $2 million cash, but you have to marry a duck. Do you take the offer?
Yeah. Right now. Who gives a shit? Marriage means nothing. Like, I feel like some of these questions are built for people with, like, a good moral standing or who are, like, very religious. I don't give a shit about marriage. Of being like, that duck can't, like, do anything to me. Of being like, that duck's gonna die in 10 years. I mean, like, even if I kill that duck, it's not illegal to kill a duck. Yeah. I'll be married for one day and then I'll eat that duck. I don't give a shit about that duck.
Duck birthday cake, duck wedding cake.
Yeah, I'll immediately have, like, duck confit as my honeymoon to the duck. Like, I don't care about that duck. I have no... like feelings that like marriage is a very important thing. Like no, dun ring on the duck, kill it immediately. As soon as I say I do, and the duck goes, which means I do in duck, I'm assassinating that.
We're good. You don't have to give the duck anything in a divorce.
Means nothing. No.
Yeah, no, you love going on this show. You're like, this is like The Price is Right. You just come away with all these prizes. You're like, yep, I'll take the money again.
Every question you ask is like, would you be a good person or would you murder someone for money? And I feel like, shit. I guess as long as I'm being honest, money means a lot to me. Yeah. I don't have a lot of money.
Cash cab. We'd have to pay you out so much.
I know. Like I'm just like stacking bills. I'm like covered in piss and blood. I'm like just another day's work.
Another day in the office. This next one's a great question. It's September 12th, 2001, and your baby won't eat his food. Do you do that Here Comes the Plane thing?
If I have a baby, do I do... No way. I turn it to trains for at least a week, right? I think you turn it to chugga chugga choo choo for a week out of respect for the fallen. I mean, like, I know I'm a piece of shit, but I'm also a little bit of a patriot.
That's where we draw the line.
Like, man, like, never forget, here comes the chugga chugga choo choo. I think I at least take a week vacation from the plane.
Yeah, go back. Yeah, I think trains is a good change up.
Yeah, I'm not going to be like, whose mouth is the Pentagon? I'm going to be respectful for a little while.
Yeah. All right, this next question's even better.
Would you fuck Mila Kunis if she had Steve Buscemi's eyes?
She'd still have her body, but she'd have Steve Buscemi's eyes.
She could wear a blindfold, but deep down you'd know
that underneath that blindfold, it's still Steve Buscemi's eyes.
Respectfully, I would fuck Steve Buscemi. I don't care. I would fuck both Mila Kunis and Steve Buscemi. Of just being like, I've gotten to the point in my life where it's just like, that's a good story of just being like, it's Steve Buscemi. So yeah, even if she had freak eyes, even if she had like fly eyes, I am very interested in having sex with people who are an interesting story at this point in my life.
You could go on the podcast tour, Joe Rogan.
Oh my God, yeah, of just being like, I heard you had sex with an alien mutant Mila Kunis. Of being like, yes, I did, Joe. It's been a really interesting time in my life.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, so absolutely, I would absolutely fuck Mila Kunis with 3 heads. I would if she had Steve Buscemi's head coming out of her stomach like Total Recall style, and then he had to blow me, I would still be down.
In.
Yeah, I'm still down.
Change the question.
All of your morally judgmental questions, I have no apprehension about. I'm fucking weird.
Like, I'm getting laid in this scenario either way, so that's a win.
I get to have sex and a good story. That's probably why I've ruined my life, honestly. Now that I'm talking out loud, I'm like, this is absolutely how I've ruined my life.
This is, but now we know. Right.
This is actually better than therapy. It's making a lot of math in my head add up where I'm like, I should stop doing terrible things for good stories. But now that I'm talking out loud, I'm like, okay, that does add up.
Yeah, that's always my model with my friends. I'm always like, that is a terrible idea. I'm like, but don't get me wrong, though. I'm still down. But I just want to let you know that's a terrible idea.
Would you do it?
Of course, you still got to.
Yeah, she's a beautiful woman. Even if her pussy was Steve Buscemi's mouth, I would still do it. You could get pretty freaky with it, and I would just be like, this is absolutely fine.
Oh, man.
Even if it's talking down there, giving like Steve Buscemi quotes, being like...
That's even better, actually.
He's like, I'm Mr. Pink. I'm like, here we go.
Oh, yeah. Keep doing it.
Yeah. I'm harder than ever.
All right, let's go into our last segment of the podcast here, which is the Capri Sun Challenge. So here's the leaderboard, so you can see our updated leaderboard of the rankings.
I still think you shouldn't have Chris Wellman number 1. I feel like Straw should be a part of it.
Straw should be a part of it.
And I love Chris. Chris is the man. I love him very much. He's put me on a bunch of shows. But the fact that he has a 5-second lead because of his cheating ways and you let him get away with
Russell got it with the straw in the same time, so it's possible.
All right.
He was fast. You're just going to like fucking slash the top of this now?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like how I can cheat.
Yeah. All right. Let me get a timer up. And then we'll
Is
go
part of the timing the stab, or can I stab it prematurely?
Stab is part of it. Hold on. All right. We'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Did you get it? Did I get him?
Oh, fuck. That was really close, but I forgot the button because I wasn't ready for you to be that
piece
fast.
of shit.
Oh, my God. You might have.
Fuck.
That was impressive. You might have just broke the record.
Goddamn. I hope you get that on tape. I hope you can at least...
I have 2 GoPros this time, so it has to record.
Okay.
I got Capri Sun all over me because I started trying to hit the button, panicking. I was like, shit.
What Chris did that I tried to replicate is he squeezed.
The squeeze. That's what
think
I was doing.
Forcing it into your mouth is better than sucking. I think that... So, like, if I'm close or if I got it, I will give props to him. I saw that he squeezed, and that's the strategy.
That was fast. I was impressed. I looked down and it was at 10, but you have that second from me to there, so I don't know the official.
I hope it's close.
That's the best part of the show. Everybody always wants their time, and I'm like, I don't know. We'll find out.
I'm coming for you, Wellman.
He's coming for you. But that's all for this episode of the podcast. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. We're giving away a toaster at 10K subscribers, baby. Tell me where to find you, Wes. Anything you'd like to promote?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at OWessie, or you can just go to Wes Williams at Facebook, and I'm also on YouTube at Wes Williams, so check me out. I will be around.
Oh, yeah. Subscribe. Do-do-do.